Hi guys, you're very welcome back to another video on this channel that looks at all things narcissistic and recovery from narcissistic abuse to go on to find our life's purpose again and recover and survive and thrive. Today I'd like to look at a pretty relevant subject in relation to NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. There are two kind of roads of opinion about it, and two puristic roads, that people look at, and I kind of usually like to meet in the middle. There's the psychological road that people go down and say people with NPD suffer from a personality disorder, therefore we conclude all things around that are to do with their disorder. Other people say it's a totally spiritual energy that these people have, and the actions that they take are evil, and that therefore they are evil. I actually meet in the middle. I believe both. I believe that, yes, we have psychology, and psychology can explain to us the patterns of behavior in these individuals that we deal with, and that they all kind of sing from the same hymn sheet. The patterns of behavior are all very, they slot into this personality disorder, and it's all very clean and it's easy to understand once you understand the personality disorder. And others of us will say that because from a young age these individuals practice going against other people and practice hurting people, practice cruelty, and practice all those negative things that destroy and hurt other people, that they're therefore taken over by an evil presence and they're possessed, and that possession won't change, and that they will go to their graves, creating evil in the world. Well, actually, both sides are true. I mean, in this modern world, people are sometimes afraid to look at the spiritual element of energy and what people do, and just, get to grips with what we used to be, and the fact that there are things that we cannot explain, that there are energies around us, that there are motivations that people have for doing certain things at certain times that can't be explained. So we do tend to try and cleanse our environment with modern thinking, with computers, with science, and we can tend to push that aside and say it's for people who are kind of crackpots and hippies and new agers and people who have lost the ability to think logically, and that they just put all this down to this kind of spiritual stuff. Honestly, both are true. I mean, we can see the narcissist behaving in patterns, but we have to ask ourselves, what motivates one person that has had the same upbringing in the same family to go down this road of evil actions? So whether you can diagnose this person as being evil is up to maybe spiritual leaders, but I believe ultimately is up to God. Whether the person themselves is diagnosed as being evil. Certainly the actions of a narcissist are evil. So I'm going to leave that one up to you guys to decide in relation to whether you want to condemn the individual with narcissistic personality disorder as actually being evil, or deciding that what they do is evil, and that therefore that decision is not for us, that it's for someone better, someone greater, God. Okay, so another angle I'd like to take this from is, given that you believe in evil, or even if you don't, if you believe just in evil energy, and we have characterized or personalized evil in the form of Satan, the fallen angel, Lucifer, the demon, and looking at that element and supposing that we are okay with the belief that Satan exists. If you were Satan, how would you best do your work? Given that you are against God and his creation of human beings and God's ideal, and in any of our spiritual teachings, in the Quran, in any of our big religions that we have, Judaism, so many different religions in the world, Christianity, they all will bring their spiritual teachings towards the survival of the human race, towards love, towards honoring your neighbor, towards doing good deeds, towards having compassion and empathy for others. They're all singing from that hymn sheet, and that God's creation in the world is that he wants all of us to survive, to live together in love and harmony and peace in as much as we possibly can, and for us to live good lives and to survive. So given that that's one side of the equation, the satanic and dark forces do not want God's creation and God's world to exist. So how would you go about destroying that? So let's just try and put ourselves in Satan's head, and I'm suitably armed to try and do that, because honestly, anytime I make videos like this, I always feel there's some kind of energy around me, so I want to try and get it as straight as possible, as protected as possible here. If you were Satan and you saw a shining, beautiful individual that all of us human beings are, that have empathy, we're not perfect, we're far from perfect. I'm just saying that our motivations aren't dark. Our motivations are to try our best to be good. We don't always succeed at that, but we would try in general to not hurt other people. So how does Satan get in, to someone who's not interested in darkness, who's not interested in destruction, stealing, killing, cheating, lying, raping, who's not interested in that, who doesn't want that, whose ethos is against that? Seduction. Seduction, guys, is how Satan will try and get in. And narcissists love bomb and seduce from a very fake position. They do this in a very speedily manner, because they want you hooked very quickly, enticed, intoxicated, and seduced. Because once they have you in that position, they then have power over you to manipulate you in other ways. So Satan does seduce. He seduces you by the narcissist going in and elevating you to a position where you feel intoxicated, where he will bring out many of your narcissistic traits that we all have inside us. He will give us a hedonistic experience of what we believe to be true happiness and love, but which can't actually be, with the speed that the narcissists will bring us to this level at. But we're seduced and we're fooled. We're fooled with the fakery. Satan then uses the narcissist to bring us down, to totally crash us to the ground, to devalue us, to confuse us, to isolate us, to manipulate us, to bring out again our narcissistic traits of jealousy, confusion, greed. We want more of what the narcissist had to offer, of this fake happiness that we now associate with a true state of happiness and being. We lose our values, we lose ourselves. The narcissist will confuse our reality by gaslighting, by lying. And again, I see this, if you believe in the persona of Satan and evil and satanic stuff, I believe that you're then in a very dense fog of what the narcissist has created in the devaluation stage of you. The narcissist will then go on to try and annihilate you by either doing something heinous to you, like cheating, or worse. They will try and steal your assets when they leave you. They'll try and leave you in the ground very hurt emotionally. They will have fed on you significantly to have left you exhausted. And they'll then go on to do more heinous stuff, in that they will use a smear campaign against you to finally finish you off. And I believe that, given again we believe in Satan, that the end result of that is that you will turn narcissistic yourself, or that you will be high in your narcissistic traits, in that you maybe fight against the narcissist, come up with, get wholly involved in an embittered state, be very bitter against the narcissist, try and get revenge on the narcissist, bring more darkness into the world, try and hurt them, try and hurt others who've hurt you, become quite narcissistic, forget about your values and who you are, become bitter, and then become isolated from the rest of the world because you don't trust other people anymore. I believe that that is the destruction of a good person. I believe Satan would be quite satisfied that you had broken relationships down with your friends and family, that you'd lost your purpose in life to go on to fulfill your purpose that God has set out for you in life, to bring good into the world, to achieve something in your lifetime, to have left you in a dark hole of bitterness, lack of trust, and seeking revenge and angry, and definitely dimming your light to the point of either extinguishing it, where you take your own life, or dimming it so much that you never recover, or dimming it so that you recover slightly but never actually fulfill the purpose that you were put here for. What the narcissist does, the acts that they do, are heinous and evil. They cheat, they lie, they steal, they destroy, they seek you committing suicide, and they actually kill. At what point do we not call this evil? I mean, do we say, like, if someone is psychopathic and they lack remorse, or even a narcissist, if they kill somebody, that it's okay for them to do that they can plead insanity, or they can plead a personality disorder, and therefore, because they have a personality disorder, it's not considered evil and punishable. We need to get real here, guys. We need to be very aware that there is a very dark force out there, that some people we can identify as practicing this darkness actually exist. And if we want to brush it off with psychology and say, they have this personality disorder, and therefore we must understand them and have compassion for them. Yes, understand them, have compassion for them at a distance, but do never, ever, ever underestimate the fact that if you turn your back, they will knife you in the back. They will slit your throat, metaphorically speaking. They may do it physically, but they do not have your best interests at heart. They are practicing a dark art. The air around them is poisonous. They seek to confuse you and to lose your sense of reality. So when you've lost your sense of reality, you cannot make an informed decision because you don't know what the truth is. You're therefore not functioning in the real world. You're not functioning as you. And that's an evil act against you. It seeks to annihilate you as a person, to take your energy away, to feed off you, to make you not exist in the form that you were born in. You know, if you were to excuse this and say that narcissists don't know what they're doing, that they're unaware that they're narcissists, let's just get back to what I said in another video. Narcissists say we'll cheat, and then they know that that's wrong. But instead of admitting that that's wrong and that they are accountable, which narcissists don't do, they will blame you for their cheating and say, if you had looked after them better, or had more sex with them, or, looked more attractive, or weren't fat, or weren't this or that, they wouldn't have had to cheat. So in the fact that they're justifying why they did something, if they need to justify it and blame you for all their wrongdoings, they know therefore there's a need to justify because they know therefore that they did wrong. So cognitively, they know when they're doing something wrong, when they're being cruel, when they're hurting someone. They just try and justify it to make it not their fault that they actually are doing these evil things and doing wrong. So when a person knows that they've done wrong and they are in our society and they call themselves a human being, forget the justification. They've done wrong. They know they've done wrong. They've done something evil. They've tried to hurt their fellow man. Therefore, yes, I would say that their actions are evil and that they know that they're doing evil. Forget about, psychopaths, narcissistic personality disorder, unaware narcissists. They're not unaware that they're doing wrong. So we have the fact that they don't care that they're doing wrong, that they have no empathy, that they have no remorse. You've got to call that evil, guys. There's no two ways about it. If we pussyfoot around it and we don't look at reality for what it is, that what they're doing is evil. It's up to God to decide, whether they're an evil being or whether they have evil influences or whether they are possessed by an evil entity. We can't, fundamentally, we can't say for sure whether this person is evil, but we can say for sure what they do is evil, and we can say for sure that they're aware of that. So I don't know how much clearer that can actually get. And another thing, guys, their families know about them. Their families know. Do you remember interacting with their families? And I will tell you this, their families are looking on with fascination, like they're looking at a soap opera. They know what's going to happen to you. They're curious to see how it folds out. They're glad the narcissist has you. Because, guys, if the narcissist has you, and I'm going to do another video on this, there's so much to talk about in relation to this diabolical personality disorder. If the narcissist has you, the narcissist isn't going to be taking their crap out so much on their close family members. So you're like a diversion to that. And you can maybe make the narcissist happy for a while. And the family members have seen this in action before. Because when you go, the narcissist hits them up again for supply and negative supply and goes at them again and changes back to the good old family narcissist, brother, sister, mother, father, whatever. So they're not a good person. They can give the impression to so many people, and so many people, who don't know the narcissist or who haven't been affected by the narcissist, who the narcissist has sought to keep on the good side, who the narcissist has held the mask up to because they didn't need to get negative supply from these people. You'll have so many people singing their praises. They can be in churches and everything. But if you know the truth, recognize what's happened. Look at the person's actions. And if those actions are evil, accept it. It is there. It exists. I think that's about what I have to say, guys, in relation to, is the narcissist evil? What you've been through is crap. A person has only thought about themselves. If the world was full of just narcissists, humanity would not exist. They're an aberration. Their behavior is an aberration of the human condition. They seek to destroy others so that they can benefit in their lives only. So if we're all to go into life like this, there would be no society. There would be chaos. There would actually be no reality. This world that we have been given is a far from perfect place. We have to recognize that there's this dark force in our world. We have to accept it. that it's more than just a personality disorder. The driver behind this, we were given free will as young children, as young human beings. God gave us free will. Two people in the same family, with the same upbringing, with the same parents, one ends up being empathic, one ends up being highly narcissistic and seeks to destroy others to get their needs met. And doesn't improve, in fact gets worse and learns how to manipulate and do things more cleverly, more hidden and more cruelly. We've got to recognize this. This is dangerous. These people will not stop. Get out of the fog. It can take a year or more to get out of the fog so you can see what you've been through clearly. And that in itself is scary. That's dangerous because, like, I remember when I was 6 months out, I thought I was out, but I wasn't. It's only now, and it's only with the vets on our channels, they will tell you it takes a long time to get your thinking back, to get clear again. It's like dark coils have been wrapped around your brain, your spirit, your soul, the essence of who you are. And it takes quite a while to cleanse them, to be free of them. So I know it can sound a little bit crazy, and for anyone that hasn't been through narcissistic abuse with a fully fledged narcissist, will probably look at this and maybe turn it off and go, your one's a bit, lula. So I know you guys that have been through it will understand it. I hope this video has helped. I hope it's helped explain or delve into the fact that the narcissist does evil things and the fact that it's a very, very dangerous personality disordered person to be around, and that we do need to acknowledge, that it is more than a psychologically explained disorder, and that we really need to have our narc glasses on going forward, because we need to fulfill our destiny, our fate, the purpose we were put into this world for. And we need to not be a victim of Satan. We need to, in fact, overthrow that evilness that came into our lives by going more strong into our purpose than we would have gone before, so that we can have a double win, if you know what I mean. So that Satan didn't take us out, but the interaction with Satan actually double increased our purpose in the world and double increased our motivation to do good in the world. I leave you with this, guys. It's been a long video. I hope it's helped. See you again soon. Have a good week and take great care of yourselves and get free of those dark coils.